SportClips. SportClips haircut offers a unique experience that exceeds the typical haircut from start to finish. SportClips stylists are expert in men's and boys' haircuts with specialized training and techniques. Cutting guys' hair can be harder than women's hair. When you go to SportClips versus a place that cuts women's hair, you're getting stylists who are specifically trained to cut guys' hair. SportClips' signature service is the MVP haircut experience. It is so much more than a haircut. The legendary hot steam towel on your face, massaging. That says messaging.
Does say.
Massaging shampoo that makes you melt in your seat. It's the ultimate relaxation. Visit a SportClips near you for a haircut that exceeds the typical experience from start to finish. Tommy just got his haircut at SportClips. Show Tommy's haircut. It looks good.
Get on camera, babe.
Look at that.
Let's turn that camera.
Tommy got that haircut.
Looking sharp.
He's looking good. SportClips. All right.
All right.
Oh,
well,
man.
This is one of those rundowns where we didn't look at any other topics because there's nothing else but.
I consider Smitty a friend. Right now, the urge for me to scream in his face is just like
a
bubbling up.
I
mean, no. Xena, warrior princess.
You're allowed to in this year because it's blown out.
Yeah, that one's gone.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Dude, all right, so for those who didn't know or don't know, last night, obviously the Sixers blow it. The process is done, and in the process, Smitty, Roan, and Fran were doing an electric chair, and Trysta Crick, she knows basketball, she came along and delivered what has to be the most obnoxious heel performance in the history of electric chairs. There she is, she's strutting around the corner. I mean, screaming in his ear, laughing in their faces.
I texted Smitty at like 1 a.m. last night. I was leaving the office. I was like, hey, dude, like you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yo, I swear to God, more restraint than ever. I'm not.
It did start off, though, in the first quarter. He started screaming first. I know
gave
that.
me the old Stu Feiner,
like
don't touch me.
Screaming,
I like that.
But then
Nobody
there's
touched.
shrieking.
I don't know where their hands
Like
are.
all business Pete
Well,
shriek.
you got a baby at home.
The
You got a child
clip,
at home.
the clip is
Take anything home to my kid.
the clip is Trysta, and we'll put the clip in obviously.
There's like
but
two.
But the scream is bad, and then she sits down, and you're like, okay, she's done, and then
The shriek.
in
the
Smitty's
ear.
face, and
Yeah. and the clapping, and the laughing. And
I don't know how many views that has, but it marked me down for 100,000 because I just watched it so many times.
Just you personally?
Yeah, oh yeah. It was. I couldn't believe it.
I'm not proud to admit this. I would have hit you. I think I would have hit you. I don't think I would punch you. I think I would.
That's a salary for life, baby. I'm in. Let's do
I would
it.
have given you a face mush, like get the fuck out of my face.
People are giving me heat last night. Like, Smitty, you're such a bitch. Why don't you do something?
Why don't you hit a woman?
What, you want me to just get up and beat the living shit out of her?
what?
Like, even like
that's
getting up
why-
and doing jumping jacks and defending the Sixers, or a good game, guys,
Yeah,
or
no.
getting next
I mean,
thing.
it wasn't
No,
a good
you gotta
game.
sit there and fucking take it.
There's
There's nothing you can
That's
do.
like the rules of the electric chair kind of anyway, but also
The only thing
What
you
can
could have
you do?
hoped for in that moment is that the Sixers somehow came back and won, and you can reciprocate the shriek.
The scream in
That's
the face,
it.
yeah.
That's the only play you have is to somehow have things go
Imagine
better,
if Smitty
and then
just
the
went,
scream.
Yeah, like
Scream in her
the
face.
old bus driver, just uppercut.
No, you were
Now
in an
you've done it.
impossible situation.
You gonna act like a man? I'm gonna treat you like a man.
Unbelievable.
That's old.
I mean,
That's old internet.
That's internet 1.0. I mean, that was has to be the worst. I know you were going through trying to compile the worst electric chair moments. Rajay Davis, Connor Gillespie, Rocket, like drinking all the Yankee tears. There's been some bad ones. I think, all things considered, the process being over, losing to the Hawks, Ben Simmons, and then Trysta. I mean, I think it's the worst ever.
It's not good.
It's not
It's
good.
going to be memorable. I was thinking to myself in the shower, 20 years from now,
It's going to be memorable because that's the only thing we're going to talk about
will
for the next
Smitty be
year, 'cause
thinking
that's the only
about
thing we can
this,
talk
ending the
about.
process,
bad blood.
this scream?
Dude, I gotta say something. I just love this company so much. Like,
You
you
know
have
who
fucking
is-
Nate and Tank going at each other. Actually, just
Yeah.
Nate going at Tank for a couple days.
You know, Nate, that's why I don't like you. That's why I don't like you. Because I don't treat you like a baby?
Yeah, this. I had.
And you know who's just sitting there? Portnoy's just at home.
Yeah.
Mr.
Well,
Bernstein.
well, he's
just
sitting
being
in the
like,
Hamptons,
this
yeah.
is exactly what I always
While
wanted.
all this is going on, you got Mincy. Mincy DM'd Dave after losing all those picks.
Oh, boy.
Mincy
no.
DM'd Dave was like, "Hey, I know it's a long shot, but would love to have you come to Omaha." We got great seats. And then I got Chris Castellini, who I fucking love, texting me.
yeah.
He's like in the zone, real journalist. He's like, hey, is it okay if I reach out to like Michigan athletes talking about Juwan Howard's recruiting? I got that text in the middle of like all of it, and I was like, yeah, dude, go for it. Like,
Whatever,
what is
bro.
this company?
He texted me like at 2 a.m. last night. Like, hey, man, it's Chris.
I love that kid.
That was an entertaining stream tonight. Hopefully to pick you up. The Phillies meet the Tigers in the World Series. I responded like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, what does that
No,
even
I
mean?
love that kid.
Like,
He's
maybe
so
in
in the
400
zone.
years?
He like him just being like, I got a real job to do, and it's fucking crushing
What does that
it.
even mean?
I love him.
Yeah, he's very nice. Very nice.
All right,
gentleman.
wait.
But it's
So
just
wait,
the whole
let's,
thing is
let's
just a
get
fucking-
back to this Game 7.
Well, first of all, like with the devil made a deal with Dave scenario. I swear, in every single alternate universe, we are not doing a live stream and the Sixers win. Every single one.
I mean,
Well, does Ben Simmons ever take that dunk?
I mean, that was insane. It
I-
was insane.
I cannot get over it.
And I know it's not like it's
a
not
shame.
a surprise that this is a mental thing.
It's a
We
shame.
all know that with Ben Simmons, but like, I didn't know
This
it was
wasn't
to
a
that
popular
extent.
opinion back in February. Though.
No, it was. It was pretty
You-
split 50-50, and you chose the right
you were
side.
a
Congratulations.
huge
I
stan.
was, and up until last night, we defended
But
Ben
really, this
Simmons.
series, the fourth quarter stats like 0
Kev.
for 1, 0 for 0, 0 for 0, 0 for 1, 0
He
for 0.
attempted 3 field goals in the entire series. in the fourth
Kev,
quarter.
insane,
up
you
until Game 4, the first half of Game 4, he had almost
Yeah,
a triple-double
right.
in the first half. Like,
Now that
you
first
saw
half of the
his
series,
faults.
it was like an even fight, and then
and then
specifically on the Simmons front, and then it
his
just,
mind just went kaput.
like that scene with. Have you seen the zoom in on Embiid where he and he throws his hands up, and then they kind of chat at like midcourt, dapping it up, and I mean, what
Embiid said
what are
after
those
that was the change.
conversations
That was the change in the game.
It was 88-86, and like those are those baskets that really changed the trajectory of the final game, final minutes. What is he saying afterwards? Like, what kind of conversation are you having with Ben Simmons right now?
I don't think he even
I don't think they're
You probably
talking.
just don't
I
even
don't think
say
they're talking.
anything. Like you
No,
can't.
you can't.
There's
You
nothing to
can't.
say other than like, oh hey man, so like you're a mental health case and you're. Embiid's playing it so perfectly. That tweet he put up being like all about how great
Yeah. I mean, it's his-
Philly
it's
is,
his
and
team.
like everybody replying, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not
It's
your
like
fault.
the opposite. Joe Harris on Saturday night. Like, I mean, you could make the argument Joe Harris cost the Nets that series
sure.
with how bad he was, but he never stopped shooting. He kept, you know what I mean? But that's what you have to do.
Well, yeah, like Tobias.
Trey Young did it. Trey Young just kept fucking shooting
5 for
through it.
23, and they fucking
But like those,
still
you know, he
won.
had that
That's
big
unbelievable.
3 down the stretch.
But
set
that's
up that
what
floater, that
Tobias-
alley-oop, like he
Tobias Harris, like
Stinks.
max contract,
Stinks.
24 points last night, but he took 24 shots.
and didn't
It's
really.
like,
and no one's talking about him this morning.
nobody's
really.
the easiest. Jordan
Mo,
had a good
shout
shot,
out to Mo.
easiest
He was
escape
crushing him. But like everybody
I
else
know
is
you
all
love
Simmons.
Embiid, but Embiid was so sloppy with the ball last night.
Oh, 8 turnovers.
And
It's
those
inexcusable.
fucking deep threes that it's just
Yeah.
like, bro, that's
Well,
not your game, man.
And Coley and I have been texting all day. I mean, Doc, like, you didn't see it if you're not paying attention to him, like, throughout his career. But those fourth quarter possessions where Embiid is just up at the top of the key and there's no plays, no off the ball
And
movement,
that's also
and that's
as
all
always,
you got?
That's the problem we talked during the All Philly rundown the other day. Is in this game, in this day and age, and really forever, in the crunch time, if you don't have someone who can handle the ball,
But it's
and,
not-
and make offense happen.
But it's not just that. Like design, like they can
do
move off the
something.
ball.
Yeah.
They can do something. You could try to get Seth Curry wide open.
It's just
You can
Embiid,
ISO
one-on-one.
Tobias. Like
Yeah.
it is.
And then
it's
chucking
actually
deep
unbelievable.
threes.
He is on the hot seat more than anybody,
Absolutely.
in my opinion,
Doc?
right now.
Absolutely.
Well, he also
Glenn,
just-
until he earns
Glenn.
fucking Doc back.
Your
He's on the hot
face
seat.
is getting really
Yeah,
red
you're-
right
It
now.
is.
Like
Yeah.
I said, when I
Your
get
You're
Tom-
concussed,
neck
too.
is just dark.
God
It's
damn it, that
blotchy,
video of
right,
you
Tommy? His
concussing
neck is
yourself.
just really red.
I break out in hives whenever I get competitive, heated, or horny. Like that's what
Whoa,
happens.
whoa.
Yikes. No one wanted to
Now,
hear the third part.
okay, so there was the on the court element of this series, which anything else really, I mean, it really boils down to Simmons. But while, yes, Tobias and all that shit, but that's, I mean, it's over for the process. You have 3 max contracts.
much.
I want
Now-
Simmons on the Bulls.
So,
Zach
LeBron,
Levine.
with
Take him.
Zach
with
Levine.
LeBron, straight up, give him to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in the camp of like you can just fix him, which I know is stupid.
Yep.
I don't
that
think
is
he-
dumb.
Maybe not in Chicago. If you went to like a mid-major market like Indiana, Charlotte, Sacramento, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Dude, I really believe like
He'd be leading the league in 3 points.
shooting, just continuing to shoot would have been a better option. Like go 0 for 30 again.
Yes.
I swear it's better than
Yes.
going 0 for 1.
Dude,
It really, really is.
He is
Drew Holiday on Saturday
Yes.
night was 2 for 7. He had a
Yes.
Starks game going,
And then he puts up
ended
9 or 10 in the
he hits
fourth
2
quarter.
big shots,
Yep.
and it's like, hey, way to go, dude.
Yep.
It's such a shame because he probably will figure it out. He's only 24 years old.
Oh man.
He's 24 years old, but
He's not gonna feel it.
no,
that for sure.
no,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
the most toxic classic athlete in Philadelphia sports history right now.
Well,
Which
you know
is
what's
saying
funny? I
that's
saw your
after
tweet.
Carson Wentz
I saw
just
your
had a
tweet.
fucking mental breakdown.
I saw your tweet about Wentz and Simmons,
months
and
ago.
it makes you think about what's the common denominator here? Is it, is it the
Maybe the fan
The
base
fan-
is
is it the-
toxic.
So
There's
they
got to
play
be, there's
it?
got to be a
There-
small part of you that's like,
Did
this
you
is
break him?
no. This is like, this is
I
home.
personally have been supportive of
both
Carson
of them,
Wentz.
yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying,
But there are old school fucking Philly fucks who will just rail people.
Well, no,
But that's my point.
I
For the
think
sake
that
of
Simmons deserves the railing at this point.
That's
maybe
my
not
point.
Carson
At
Wentz,
this point-
and maybe
at
at
this
some
point-
point Simmons didn't, but right now, forget about
in
it.
a
Now
weird
it's-
way, the DNA of Philly fans, like winning championships is great, but the next best thing is being like, I can just scream about one guy.
Yeah, that's what they want.
There are some
They
Philly
want to
fans out
blame
there.
one person for everything.
Exactly. There are some Philly fans and analysts out there who are like this hack, who would rather look bad or rather look good and lose and look bad and win with their points. I mean, it's my entire fucking group chat, my friends. Like,
Or
So-
just like look good and win. Like that's kind of the point of a star
yeah,
caliber.
obviously win-win scenario, but people like you would rather look good and have your team lose than look bad and win. You would rather see the Sixers lose than the Trailblazers win.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Trysta.
Oh,
I mean, I don't
yeah,
know. We'll
it
never
is.
know because we haven't seen the Blazers really win. I would
We
be
did go to the
stunned if
Western
you were
Conference
that.
Finals a couple of years ago.
I mean, I just didn't see it, so I don't know what it.
Because you're not an NBA fan. It's
No,
okay.
I'm saying you. I didn't see you.
Oh.
I haven't seen what
Trista's
you
feeling
look
it.
like, so it would be. I feel like it would be hard to get more emotion out of the Blazers winning than what you showed last night.
Listen, there was a lot of people being like, "Oh, Trista's like coked out." No, this is me on
That
10.
is your- that
and
is your
this
drug.
is my
Yeah.
is my gear watching sports, and especially against somebody who's been trying to put like garbage in my mouth for the last 5 months about Ben Simmons. He's been coddling him like a baby, and then we see Ben Simmons completely melt down, and he's like screaming my ear quarter one, and it's like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna fucking scream back in his ear. You got it.
Let's see
Yeah,
what,
so then the other side. So
see what
saying,
we
on
contribute
court,
the next 6 months.
And then there's off the court here. You bust your head wide open shooting free throws.
Tough.
So
in one of the
funny.
most Smitty threads of all time.
Everybody relax. We're still in this. You still gotta trust the process. If Ben Simmons can't hit free throws, looks like I gotta show him how. Jackies. for sure.
the wife was.
She was
It was
not a
perfect
fan.
Smitty too
I always
because
love when we finally got to the point where everyone was old enough to have significant others being in the mix. I always think it is so funny when you have a wife filming these
Filming,
dumb.
like,
She's
yeah,
getting
like
good
you
at filming.
split
You're
your
bleeding
fucking
bad.
She's
head
getting
open,
good at
and
carrying
you know
cameras
she's
out.
just sitting there like, God damn.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
Trust the process, babe. Trust the process.
honestly, I lost my wallet last.
Is she
that
from
night.
the
I
area?
didn't know where it was.
Like,
yeah,
is she,
she's Delco girl.
is she a sports fan at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's like, she gets it. She knows.
Yeah.
She understands.
No.
And you lost your wallet? What?
Yeah, that night I put it somewhere and just like didn't.
You're just in a.
I didn't even go
man, baby.
anywhere. I just like probably put it in the back of the freezer and fucking like
So,
it's just a mess of a weekend.
I mean, Roan and Fran's in the mix too. Like, I mean, all you guys had incredible restraint. What was just running through your mind there? I know Roan at one point just declared you were the worst, truly the worst person in the world. Smitty, you had your "Don't touch me." We're in a pandemic. I have a child.
It was a,
Yeah.
it
What
was a
was
Rico
up?
Bosco
Fran
callback.
had
Rico, I don't know
the
what your
moment of
fucking
the
hands
stream
have
with the
been.
"You're not supposed to wear socks with sandals." What was that?
Okay, Smitty wearing slides with his like corns on his feet, dirty slides.
You got bad feet.
That's where I
with
wore
no
it's,
socks.
It's what I
a
wore in Game
bad-
6. It's what you do.
Got to run it back. That is true.
Run
That
it
is true.
back. It was a tough look.
But what else? I mean, what was going through your mind in that moment? Like, what was the worst moment? The streak when the game was actually over? Where?
I mean, she's like, whatever. It's what's on the screen. What's at stake.
I
with
know
the
what you're trying to say,
process.
but it
Like,
also, I mean, that's brutal for anybody. I don't think I don't think you should be ashamed to admit that was fucking annoying.
It was, and you can't do anything about it. You just gotta sit back and take it.
it's
like it
that's
is what
the
it is.
right approach because this is at the end of the day, it's Barstool. Like that's what we do. Like whenever we do streams. Like when
Yeah,
Troops
Frank
is
is
doing a
getting his
stream and everyone's
head
like, why are you
fucked
trolling
and-
him? It's like, that's what we fucking
I mean,
do.
Yeah,
That's kind of
yeah.
the point of this.
Yeah.
Karma is a bitch.
Did
and
you-
one of these days?
Yeah, I mean,
Your whole family's going down, Crit.
No, I didn't say
Smitty's
that.
probably
I
doxed
didn't
me
say
on
drives
Twitter.
off a cliff.
I didn't say that.
It
I
sucks
wish,
that there's
I wish
no.
Trysta
I wish
crickets
you
well.
root for an Eastern Conference team because any sort of matchup is going
I'm
to have to be
asleep by the
that,
time
you
the
know.
Blazers
I mean,
play.
it's
Tough.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges went to my high school. Like, we're Suns fans now. Why not?
So go.
There you go.
Suns out, guns out. Were you like the shriek and the screaming? It just happened. Was there any thought of
It
like I'm
honestly
going to do
just
this
happened.
when
It
was
if I
natural,
win?
yeah.
It
It
just
popped
happened.
out.
It was.
I mean, that's what happens when
Were-
you're demonically possessed.
Were you confident? Like, I actually, like, when it was close down the stretch, I was talking to a Stoolie who's a Hawks fan, and I was like, I think the Hawks are going to win this strictly because of what I was saying about Embiid. Like, the Hawks have a bunch of shooters and a guy who can handle the ball, it's like
That's like
always going to
almost-
beat you down the stretch.
That's
you know?
almost the worst thing about it is it's Kevin like Herter. Like who?
Yeah.
my
Like who?
king. I hated him when he was playing the Knicks.
Oh
I
my
trashed the
God.
Hawks.
But
I was
it's
like, oh, the Hawks are gonna get waxed by the Sixers, and
If
I
the
hated them in the moment. Now I'm like,
He's
I'm all about the
incredible.
Hawks
On the-
now.
yeah.
I am all about him and the Hawks. That performance, man. Oh,
It's the trajectory of the process. I've said this before. Like, we could deal with anything, like losing 3 years ago, Ben Simmons scoring 1 point to the Celtics, confetti dropping. We could deal with 2 years ago, the Raptors,
shot,
Game 7, the
the
shot.
bounce.
You can deal with last year, COVID year. You know, Ben Simmons is out in the playoffs. They get swept.
this was the one, dude.
This is the one where, like, you
Everything
teams
broke
remain-
you
away. The
need
Nets lose.
to get to the Eastern Conference
Yeah.
Finals. You need to. You can't
But
lose to the
beyond
Hawks.
that-
The Hawks, like, they're just good for them,
when
but
you
they're
got
not
the
good.
Bucks,
They're
the
not a
Bucks,
good team.
Suns, and Clippers are what's standing your way from the process finally
Hey.
being complete, and all you got to do is get through Kevin Herter, and I mean,
Goodness.
it's as bad.
They were at one point
as it
12th in the
gets.
East, the Hawks.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
And how about
Hey,
I mean,
credit-
and this
credit-
one,
credit to
this,
Nate
this,
McMillan.
this,
Like,
yeah,
credit
to
he
Nate
turned them
McMillan.
around
Yeah.
completely this year.
He did.
But this stat floating around that everybody is loving to like cut and paste and put out there as their own, that the Hawks have gone to the Eastern Conference Finals twice.
Yeah, it's wild.
in the process. I
Yeah.
mean, and they're the Hawks. You know that they're
They've
the Hawks.
rebuilt
They're
it.
a bad
You
Twice.
were right. That was the
team.
most anticlimactic 60-win team in NBA history.
When they said when they were like the Atlanta Hawks are going back to the Eastern Conference Final for the first time in 6 years, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I totally forgot
That
about
team was
team.
good. I mean, they
They
weren't
were,
that
you know,
good.
Paul
They were-
Millsap was like
Right.
the star.
Al
And then they just got
Horford
just
smoked
smoked the
by
ball
LeBron.
really well, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, they were a 60-win team in 2015, and now they're back, and the whole process has gotten you to what Eastern Conference Final?
No,
Not even?
Not even.
Oh my God.
Not even.
I thought at least the shot was that was
the good things. I mean, if there are good things, Daryl Morey, you have to assume he knows what he's doing. So maybe there are some people who still believe in Ben Simmons, like what Big Cat's saying. He might be able to get some value. Doc Rivers, you gotta trust him. But I mean, it's Embiid's team, Embiid and Morey, and you figure it out. Like at least you have something.
The worst part, I think, is that just the saying, because you wake up this morning and you're like, "What do we do?" It's like, well, you could trust the process.
It's also
Continue to trust.
It just kind of
Can
kills
the process exist with 3 max contracts and a shitty choke artist and a bad coach? And,
Hey, look,
you know,
Morey got rid of Al Horford's contract last year, which was impossible. He traded Fultz, which was impossible. Something might happen. Like, I say that's the worst part. No, the worst part is having to watch the Phillies go through mediocrity, and then the fucking Eagles, who are over under 6.5 wins, and then the Flyers, who just absolutely dick themselves. Like, this was it. This was like the
totally
only
it.
hope like anybody had.
so
and to
really
have
when it
it happen
boils down
like
to it, the
this.
process has just been like Embiid and a bunch of moving parts around him. It was not
It's-
that, you know,
it's tough.
you end up missing on Fultz, and now you've missed
Well,
on Simmons. It's like all of these picks that you acquired,
The only
what did
person
they really turn into?
The only person that hit on that draft was Ainge. Everyone else,
No,
synonymously
sure.
had Fultz.
Sure, but
then
I'm
you
just
look at the
saying
other
in
picks.
general.
Nerlens Noel, like, you're gonna pick Giannis. Like, that was the pick at the time. Okafor, like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna pick Porzingis. That was the pick at the time. Like, even Embiid was 3. If they were 1, they would have picked Wiggins at that time. Embiid was 3. So I mean, things fall
No,
the
you're
way
right.
they fall.
It's not
and
even
it
that, it's
sucks.
not even a knock on them. It's just to say that we used to think of the process as this like deep, intricate process, and it really has just turned out to be like you get a bunch of draft picks, and it turns out that even if you're in the top 5, it's totally fucking coin flip a lot of times.
If Adam Silver didn't rid Hinkie and make him die for our sins and bring in Brian Colangelo, things might
you think
be.
Hinkie would have?
He wouldn't have fucking drafted Fultz and like made that whole
But
thing.
even
He
like you
wears
said,
normal
though, it's like
collars.
there's so many, you know, there's a lot of ways that it's hard to hit even on your top picks. So
Even so, even Simmons, like, oh, what you're going to at the time you're going to choose Brandon Ingram at the time? No,
I mean,
like he was
everybody
the
thought
consensus.
he was like a
number 1
walking
pick.
triple double, and
It is what it is.
he needs to
Sucks.
like, you know, go to hypnosis, go to a therapist, go to
Also-
do some ayahuasca.
I feel bad
Also,
for
it
him.
turns
I
out
feel
that it
bad
was a
for him.
fair thing to say that he didn't even get to the tournament.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
When
That
you're
was
like,
fair.
he can't
couldn't
take
even
care
take
of
a
his
team to
team.
the
It's like,
64.
oh, well, you don't understand basketball. It's oh, well, If you're really, really good, you should be able to get your team to the
Do you think
tournament.
that during the series there was any talk? Like the third game when it was like, hey Ben,
Yes.
like you got to take a couple shots in the fourth quarter, man. Like you got this, don't worry. And then game 4, and then game 5, and then game 6. Do you think eventually they're just like, well, I guess he's not going to shoot. Like we're not even going to talk about it.
Nobody with the sack on the team that can just let it drop and be that authoritative figure. Like even Dwight Howard, who's supposed to be like that guy and put Ben
I mean, like
in his place.
a Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
type?
Jimmy would have been.
James
yeah.
Harden.
That guy.
James. I mean, I still don't believe in that.
Yeah, that's a tough scene. And then how about, I mean, post game they asked Doc Rivers point blank, is Ben Simmons still the type of
Said, I don't know
point
the answer
guard?
to that
He was
right
like,
now.
I can't really answer that. Like that's as much of a no as you can get without saying no. He's not.
I mean, Embiid kind of throwing him under the bus, like says everything
but, like,
about the
fuck,
future.
I mean, bro, he deserves to be under the bus right now.
Yeah.
I can't even knock it. And he's
And it's
he
not,
could have said
it's
a lot
not,
worse, put it that way.
It's not an effort thing. Like he tries hard out there, and even
a mental thing, totally.
even in the off seasons, like he works on his shot. He comes in every single off season and shoots jump shots and threes in the preseason and the early regular season.
Kobe
he just
asked him to come to a
regresses.
clinic and he declined.
Okay.
Like multiple
Wait.
former NBA players said we want to work with you on your shot, and he said no.
Cool.
The arrogance there is about as high as yours.
I don't even think it's arrogance. I
Oh
think
yeah,
I
I'm
think he's, like,
real
afraid.
arrogant. Look at me, fucking cocky as all fuck.
Smitty's been down bad for like a decade. You think he's fucking arrogant? Get lost, man. On the other side of things, the Nets go home. I wish I could like rub that in some Nets fans' faces, but there's not.
Oh,
It was
Frank's
pretty-
here.
There was a very
Frank's-
funny moment.
Frank's a Celtics fan.
There was a very funny moment. I was walking out of the stadium. I went to Game 7, and there was a crossing guard who was wearing a Knicks shirt, and he was like, "You fuckers are still with us now." And I was like, "All right, that's good."
Yeah, I mean, KD does everything he could. That 2 point upon replay, the fact that it was only like touching paint.
They put
in
up
real
3
time. It looked like I was like, oh, that's a 2. I didn't realize how close it
They
was until
put
the
up
slow-mo.
3-pointer on the jumbotron.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and they brought out the they roped off the front row,
Really?
being like, "All right, now the game's over," and then they had to bring the
Wow.
ropes back up.
I mean, did you
Yeah.
guys like in real time? I was like, oh, that's a 2. Like
Oh,
we're
no,
good.
I thought it
don't
was a
worry.
2, yeah.
And- okay, yeah, but then to see that it was like literally if you had smaller shoes on, that game is over.
Yeah.
But I mean that inbounds play to Brook Lopez was like the stupidest play, the worst execution.
But Brook
and, like,
Lopez basically, I mean, he was a huge part of them winning that game.
crazy that Brook Lopez is
You know,
still
he's the
doing
all-time points leader for the
He's
Nets.
just been there. I mean,
Saw that,
that
I
is
was like,
pretty
what?
crazy. They had some years there with
Yeah.
some, the Kenyon Martins of the world and like
I
when
mean,
they were like,
But
Dr.
that would definitely been a trivia question that I got
oh,
wrong.
for sure, no
Yeah.
shot. Yeah,
Jason
Dr.
Kidd?
Yeah,
Brook Lopez.
15
Brook Lopez,
29?
man, that fucking voice of his.
Kerry Kittles?
But yeah, I was
Keith
happy
Van Horn?
to see that happen. Joe, at what point do you think? I feel like James Harden was a detriment down the stretch there, and they shouldn't have played him.
Yeah,
They-
he
it's
still
52
was.
minutes.
The only
Yeah,
reason
I mean-
I think you have to keep him out there is because you still have to respect him.
Right.
Like he still
you can't just
spaces
leave him
the floor.
open. But
Like
I mean,
Bruce Brown,
fuck.
Or like
God
Mike
bless the
James.
floater, but like he did not want to shoot.
No.
Unless it was like pass, 5-foot floater.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
so,
Like
I
unless
thought
he was like right in front of the hoop,
Yeah.
like completely open, then he wasn't. That's the only time he was
Yeah.
gonna shoot. Because that's when NBA players shoot the ball.
or just
When they're
dunk
right
it
there.
if
Yeah,
you're
just-
6'10".
Just like drop it into
Probably don't
the
even have to
hoop,
jump.
It's indefensible. You can't defend it.
Sick pass though.
Sick pass.
Led to a
Can't
foul,
defend
right?
it.
I mean, like, cool.
Can't defend it.
He
It
was
sucks.
so. Who was it? Was it Tobias who caught that?
It was Matisse.
Yeah, he was like, "What the
What the
fuck?"
fuck? Why do I have this ball right now, you idiot?
Can't defend it. Such
So
a
yeah,
shame.
now you're left with what has to be, the worst worst scenario for the NBA, but also not really when you look at the stars that are still left and the fact that you're going to have some new like hungry fan bases. You know what I mean? It's like typically this is a bad scenario, but
Suns are extremely rootable.
all right. Second half of the rundown is brought to you by Bird Dogs. If you got a bounce for the yak, we can probably cycle somebody in. It's up to you.
Yeah, why don't we do Tommy? Why don't you sit here? That's perfect, actually.
Second half of the rundown is
Tom,
brought
yeah,
to you
you're
by
sitting here.
Bird Dogs. Bird Dog shorts are back. They are
Yeah.
perfect. They are comfortable. You can wear them doing anything. You can wear them like out on the basketball court, just shooting the ball, like just shooting some hoops. Just fucking even just like a Mikan drill. Where you're like right under the hoop. You can just lay the ball up. You can dunk in your Bird Dog shorts.
First of all, I was a mic and drill champion.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Almost met Clarence Weatherspoon in 1992.
Were you more of the swooping type, or did you kind of like step to each? You know what I mean?
No,
you
you
can
couldn't
get to
swoop.
each side.
Just boom, boom,
Just
boom,
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 boom.
boom, boom. Easter seals, baby.
You could do it you could do the mic and drill in your bird dogs. They took the Lululemon's designer, yoinked them, and now they're just doing them better. Right now, using the promo code Rundown, you can get a free whistle tip football. Old school. You can air those things out when you buy yourself a pair of bird dog shorts. So the promo code Rundown will get you a whistle tip football along with your shorts. So yeah, you can whip out that vortex and let it rip. Go to birddogs.com, promo code Rundown.
I didn't want to do it during the ad, but that's the fucking king of the pots calling the kettle black right
What?
there. You just throwing shots at me about the shots.
Listen,
I mean,
I gotta, what else am I gonna do here? Come on, man. What else is there to say?
holy
I'll be
Jets,
honest,
Mets,
I didn't. Yeah, listen, I got
happy
nothing.
shit.
I got
No,
nothing.
I know we're both kind of one.
Come
now.
on, I don't listen. I've kind of turned a corner with my outlook on sports with the Mets. Like, I'm being positive this year.
Mets are good.
That's what I mean.
I
That's
didn't
the
want to admit
difference,
it.
is
I
that
You
thought
they're
have
we were
become
good.
like the optimistic
Yeah.
Mets fan because of Frank.
Well, not only that, but it's also just like I am negative when they deserve the negativity, when they are a shitty run organization with bad players. Right now, they've got a good owner, they're being run well, and they got good players. There's no reason to be negative.
Well, the June swoon.
I mean, the June swoon is just not happening. But I actually didn't look at like any of the topics because of it was all Philly all the time.
Well, I mean,
Are there? Oh, so the
Trysta could have hopped on, but I guess showing up at 12:15 the day your biggest content.
this was
day,
her
you
big.
had
You know,
to
this was
let
her
go.
chance.
Yeah,
I would have been throwing a fucking parade.
You
But,
had to go and get some work done.
the Foo Fighters opened up the Garden. Yeah, the Garden with the first concert here in New York, at least, or was it the first concert like period in the country?
It was the first at MSG.
Yeah.
MSG. So awesome moment, full capacity in its own right. You know, with just the Foo Fighters. They also bring out Dave Chappelle, who does a cover of "Creep" by Radiohead, which I learned is like his thing. That's like his party trick. He's done
Really?
it. He's done it like countless times. He's done it like at the club. He's done it on stage with other performers. He does it like at private parties. He just loves to do "Creep," specifically "Creep." Radiohead karaoke. So
Do you think
that's gotta be awesome. A lot of the guys in the office were at it. I'm sure it was an electric moment.
Love the Foo. Do you think Billy Joel was slighted a little bit?
That he wasn't the guy to open it.
I know
Plenty
Balls
think
was.
so, yeah.
I know
Yeah,
Balls
Balls
was
is not
upset.
happy. Is Balls back there or no?
Yeah, he is.
Balls, were you not happy that that your boy Billy was not granted the huh? You're so angry. Come on over. So the Foo Fighters, iconic, probably the last of all rock and roll bands, if you ask me. Tommy trying to skirt his way off, but the Piano Man does not get the chance to open up the Garden again.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm actually kind of with you.
If there was
like,
legitimately like odds, he should have been like minus 10,000 to 1.
agreed. I would have bet the fucking rent.
How? What are we doing here? Like, I love the Foo Fighters. I'm a big Foo Fighters guy.
Well, was there a
But
chance that they
what are
were
we
just
doing
like
here?
scheduled for this anyway, and they happened to be like we
He's
were
scheduled every month. That's not an excuse. Billy Joel's scheduled every month.
Yeah, I'm just saying if the Foo Fighters were supposed to play the Garden on June, whatever that was, and then it happened to be that COVID was, they might not
I
have
don't
been like.
think it was. Like, he's playing Fenway next month. He's playing. He's ready to go. We got our boy in the bullpen. What are we doing here? Like, it's fucking fire James Dolan. The guy's a moron. I was Billy Joel on open this fucking thing. I've been looking forward
Well,
to.
here's the thing. Billy Joel doesn't bring out Dave Chappelle,
You know who Billy Joel brings out? Bruce Springsteen. How about that? Miley Cyrus. Billy Joel brings them
I
all
don't know.
out.
I think I'd kind of rather
Foreigner.
see Dave Chappelle.
I think.
I agree. I'd rather
I
Dave
think
Chappelle too.
Billy
Honestly.
Joel,
But
I think
still,
Billy Joel wanted to. You could probably work that out.
I guess he could, but I think.
But Billy Joel ain't
I feel
playing
like
no
the Foo
creep
Fighters
on the
and
piano.
Chappelle have a little thing, but I'm just saying, yes, I understand, but also it's not like, listen, if the Foo Fighters like stunk the joint up, maybe, but they killed it, so you can't be mad.
I know they're doing I love the Foo Fighters. I know they're doing. I've seen that fucker De Blasio talk about some Central Park concert for a while.
Yeah.
Like the Foo Fighters open up that shore, but we're talking Garden here.
It's the house that Billy built
I've
right
been
now.
waiting for over a year to go to that first concert back here and like do some speech about COVID, like how New York is like the strongest
You
thing
were
in the
gonna do a
world.
big speech?
No, I'm saying he was probably gonna.
Billy was gonna do a
Yeah,
speech.
he's like,
Okay.
yeah, like
Thought you
New
said
York.
you
New
were
York
gonna-
is like can't put us
Yes,
down. We got
for
the
sure.
COVID.
Absolutely.
And then when he goes like, oh, we got like this fucking guinea from South Shore on the drums, then everyone goes crazy.
Yeah.
I was excited for that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
now we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna.
Well,
get that.
you'll get it.
Now I might have to go to fucking Fenway Park for the first show. August 4th, a Wednesday night.
He's not playing the Garden anytime soon?
He's on schedule for November 5th. I've already checked.
Oh, wow. I thought it was at least like, I was
assuming if like the floodgates are open and he'll be out today, you should be there today.
Right.
I'd go today.
I didn't get why you were so upset because I thought I was just like, okay, he didn't get to open it, but he's going to play.
So I watched him a few weeks ago on Chaz Palminteri's podcast. That was one of 7 listeners. It was him and Billy Joel. And he said he's on schedule for November 5th.
It's a shot at Chaz for no reason.
Really?
I think Chaz's podcast
I
does all right.
I see his clips
I feel like it does pretty well.
I would just assume Chaz is not a podcast god. I'm sorry, Chaz.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That wasn't worth the shot at Chaz.
Guy turns down Tony Soprano one time and fucking he's an enemy of the state.
That is true.
Christ.
I actually take that back. I love Chaz Palminteri.
Yeah.
I said that.
Fuck.
But nonetheless.
Is he resuming like his residency? Like it starts in November and then he's going to do his regular?
He said right now he's on schedule for November, and then I would assume he's resuming, yeah. But the next thing he's on schedule for is August 4th at Fenway Park.
How do you think you stop that, by the way? Do you think you just play until you're dead?
He said he'll play until it stops selling out. It's the
Yeah,
greatest gig of all time.
I mean,
That's what
he
he
makes
said.
probably $1 million.
when is it going to stop? I don't think he's going to stop
It's
selling
never
out
gonna stop
anytime
selling
soon.
out.
Because he can perform.
I would buy season tickets.
Dude,
Yeah.
Phil
I would.
Collins can't even wipe himself anymore.
And he's selling out. That's
across
what I mean.
the country.
And
with
Billy's done a
Genesis.
great job of transitioning to like he can just sit at the piano and play and sing, and it's
Sing
still a good
25
enough show.
songs.
It's not like he once was like, he sliding across the stage and putting on a rock show, and now he can't do that anymore. So his concert sucks. He's transitioned. He's like Jordan with the fadeaway. It's like he has his second act.
You're not writing any new shit. You're living the dream.
Hasn't been new music in 29 years. Just
You
sits
think
back,
that he
chills.
like hates Piano Man now, or you think he's just like
he actually
makes
said
so
that on the Chaz podcast
Really?
too. Chad was like, "What song don't you like?" He was like, "I'd kind of rather not play Piano Man."
Wow.
But
Yeah, it makes
obviously,
perfect
obviously
sense,
you can't not play Piano
And it's like
Man.
8 minutes long or whatever.
I
It's a
wouldn't
long
even
one,
mind.
right?
Fuck Piano Man. I'm more of a Caesar Mid-Side Restaurant
Caesar
guy.
Italian Restaurant is the greatest song of all time.
It is.
It's the greatest like
Just bar it up.
composition
We
of
can't
all
even-
time.
I don't even want to sit here and talk about another song.
Amen, man.
But nonetheless, it really was shocking. Like James Joel back at it again. Like how could Billy Joel not be the first?
Oh, you know what I don't think we covered on the rundown when it happened? The Nets, the curse of the Nets hipster country singer playing DMX songs during halftime of the Nets game. Did you see that, Glenny?
Oh, he did that?
He looked like, I thought it was a shot making fun of James Dolan because he had like James Dolan's stupid hat on and a guitar, and I thought it was like a picture from a James Dolan and JD and the Straight Shots performance. No, they just had like a hipster country guy singing Rough Riders Anthem at the Barclays like at halftime of the Bucks game. And it was, and the Nets City Dancers or whatever they're called were singing it, and it was like, oh, this is why I hate the Nets,
What
because
an odd
they're
thing.
just a weird,
I
weird
tweeted
franchise.
it Saturday. I'm so sad we're not going to see the parade.
Yeah, Glenny
all I wanted, man.
Glenny just wanted to see that Brooklyn
I just wanted
parade.
to see the Nets parade.
How you doing, Smitty? Tell me what you would have done if there was no cameras on and nobody would have ever seen it. What would you have done to Trysta?
Nothing.
Nothing. You were just
Nothing. Water.
Did any
water
part you
finds
want to
its
just
level.
scream back?
No.
No part you wanted to just. I mean, you screamed "shut the fuck up" before, but no part wanted you to just be like. Ah.
I mean, the product wasn't worth defending. That's how bad.
Yeah, that's so true. They gave you nothing to really say.
Exactly. And I'm not going to beat down someone. She started to get personal yesterday. I wasn't going to go that low. Anything I said
What
was
did she say that was
fairly-
personal?
Didn't
She
she get a
said
little
she said I
personal?
was annoying and didn't nobody liked me, and then she said I had no sense of
Well,
humor.
that's a tough sell coming from.
It's all right. She made fun of my feet, like what are
Yeah,
you
that
gonna
was
do?
an odd chirp. She made
Yeah.
fun of you for wearing
Insane.
sandals with no socks.
I truly believe that line.
Yeah.
The line of the night from Friend. You're supposed to not wear socks.
Exactly. Anything I said was strictly on a professional level, and they're straight facts. Like she said yesterday that like 8:30, 8 p.m. Ben Simmons made his first shot, and I said, well, that's an hour earlier than you tweeted out anything from the Nets Bucks game the night before when you were on our NBA podcast. So
Yep. No, I mean, listen. It was a.
it is what it is.
And any of the Trysta haters out there, do recognize that that one electric chair alone. That's what Dave Portnoy loves, and so that's like a lifetime contract now.
Yeah. Everybody, go download and listen to this league. I'm sure you'll have one hell of a good time.
Anything else? Anything for behind Barstool or after show? Glenny, you have a good
I
weekend.
found it interesting. I found it interesting today. I just blogged it that Corinna Kopp made $165,000 off one tip.
One titty shot?
One
Yeah,
titty
so
shot.
Corinna is
It's
a
crazy.
YouTube star who went on OnlyFans. She already made $1 million overnight from the subscriptions, but as we've explained on the rundown like a week ago, you get the subscriptions to reel people in, and then you're like, hey, DM me another $10 or whatever.
And last
how much
night,
was it per shot?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but as a subscriber, it was $20. So that's about
So send me $20 and you can see my tits.
That's about 10,000 people that paid for that. About
Honestly,
10,000.
kind of low.
And-
Low than I thought that the price was going to be lower than that, so there was going to be way more people.
Her, I will say, she's so popular that you could find it in a second.
What's
a lot of
that
people aren't
sucks.
paying.
That
it does suck
for OnlyFans
because
famous people.
Further, that's the difference on OnlyFans. The people that get famous through OnlyFans, they probably do well. They have they're ready for it. But like when you're as massive as she is, people are gonna see it.
Question for a married non-OnlyFans subscriber,
Married
non-subscriber.
and subscribe to OnlyFans.
If she put out, say, a Photoshop or a fake picture, like, is that still kosher?
I think that would be illegal.
I
don't know.
think if
it
you
would be
could
illegal.
prove it, you'd probably have like a case on your hands. Like you could probably.
Yeah, I think you can do that. I don't know why anybody would do that, but.
But I mean, the extent to which you have to go to like.
But the best part about
like
it was
sue
that
Corinna because I paid $20
People are
for her.
You see what Quiggs does on a regular basis. I mean, you could develop a fake titty real quick.
the
That's
best
your
part-
girl though. Corinna's like your girl.
She's a queen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say she's my girl, but she's a queen. Like
What are we up to now on?
probably like 9 or 10. But the best part about
When are you
her,
gonna start OnlyFans fans?
I think I got to do it this week.
Yeah.
I got
Do it with
one of the
Corinna.
Twitters.
Like, do the
Yeah,
kickoff.
Corinna will be the first one.
9 or
maybe.
10, so you're up to $200 a month on OnlyFans?
No, they're not always $20. Some are free. Some are $5. Some are 10. Some are 15. Some are 20. My highest one right now I think is 25.
Now-
and that's Corinna.
OnlyFans is trying to move away from. Did we ever talk about that?
porn.
Was that why you were on last
I think
time?
so. Yeah.
Yeah, OnlyFans is trying to just become like a regular platform.
Yeah, but my main thing that I thought was awesome was she fucking tweeted it out. She was like, "Yeah, I got the $165,000. Fuck you guys. It was awesome. Good
I mean,
for her.
that's women empowerment right there.
Awesome.
So
I think it's great. If I'm ever fucking doing that shit, I'm
good for
shooting
the
about it, too.
powerful
I mean, you should
women,
start
the
Balls
powerful
fans.
women in the world creating content. Trysta, Corinna, all. of them.
Exactly. Love them both.
Go team.